Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, February 2, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a reverse aging health call tonight. Go over the different formulations for the body, basically to help keep people in the body. One thing that many of us are weak in is confidence in ourselves and in our lives and what we desire to have. When we're feeling great about ourselves, we're sending out a really powerful, positive vibe into the world, which comes back to us in the form of amazing opportunities, more abundance and positive relationships. Having self-confidence is like a magic wand in our pocket. And, of course, it's not ego-mind confidence. It's heart-minded confidence. It's a big difference. Ego-mind, then you have arrogance and over-speculation and expectation and attachment. It just happens in the course of this lifetime that our soul yearns to mature deeply within itself. And to do this, we must attract a super challenging situation that will teach us to look deeper inside and find where the source of everlasting confidence comes from. Somebody will get angry at us, become disappointed in us, start rejecting, ignoring, and even physically and emotionally abuse us. If we become identified with the negative experience, we can feel bad about ourselves, the world, and shrink our perception of the amazing beings we truly are. If we continue for years to identify with the bad feeling and story around the trauma, we develop a sense of low self-esteem. And the confidence we had within ourselves will weaken. Many people, as we know on this planet, have been traumatized. We've been traumatized in our lives. None of us are alone with that. Most of us have some major form of wounding we are currently dealing with. We all have the choice in how we deal with it. And this path is what leads us to healing and freedom. The path of creating more confidence in ourselves with practice, trusting, and loving ourselves all day long. Being gentle with who we are. And as the more often we love ourselves, more valuable, lovable, and precious we feel in this world. When we can allow ourselves to feel lovable, we start respecting ourselves and the gifts we have to give this world. We feel valuable and worthy of more love. We stop thinking about how unlovable we are, or comparing ourselves with others, believing that they are better than us. Now, if and when we continue to dwell and focus upon our wounding, only feeling that we are lacking, needing, or feeling not enough in our lives, then we stop having time for loving, proving, and appreciating who we are. When self-love is not happening on a daily basis, it opens the ground for the wound to fester and a lower self-confidence to root inside. If and when we do not establish a new perception or thinking pattern inside ourselves, we might just live our entire lives believing we are never good enough and feel as if this life is one long hell ride of being dragged from the cradle to the grave. Heard that statement many times. As Lao Tzu quoted, what when I let go of who I am, I become what I might be. It's good to know that there are two basic types of self-confidence. That we can tap into. The first is a transient state of ego confidence, and that will come and go. Because it's based in holding on to thoughts which always come and go. The mind attempts to grip firmly onto a strong, positive idea about who we are, and then we feel good about ourselves. This strategy will work for a certain measure of time, yet eventually, I am a powerful, confident person will shift to I am weak and helpless, pathetic person when the great cyclone of this life rips through. And whenever we hold too tightly onto any idea about who we are or who we are not, we soon see that this life will challenge the strength of this idea. If our ideas about ourselves are flexible, we'll tend to bend when life attempts to break us. The limbs of the large oak tree tend to crack in a big windstorm. But the bamboo, flexible as it is, yields to the fierce pressure and cyclone intensity. Eventually, whenever any idea is shaken, cracked, or destroyed about ourselves, the ego comes crashing down, burying itself in the dark valley of insecurity and powerlessness, and then has to rebuild its inner structure again and again and again. There's no use removing doubts one by one. If we clear one doubt, as we've all experienced more than once, another doubt will rise, and there will be no end of doubts. But if by seeking the doubter is found to be really non-existent, then all doubts will cease. Ramana Maharishi. The second type of confidence is a spiritual confidence. This is the one that we focus on, which has nothing to do with ideas, beliefs, identity, or ego. This level of confidence stems from a perpetual discovery of one's sweet spiritual essence. It is an unveiling of the spiritual truth of who we are, without labels, without judgments, masks, or coverings of any kind. Our true spiritual nature is tapped into an infinite source of love, and this love is deep and eternal. We naturally feel confident about this life because we are feeling into the very source of love, which always abides at the core of our being. And by simply feeling into our deepest core, we find this spiritual connection is there. It is a gentle relaxation, an effortless surrender into our deepest truth without words. There is a divine energy there, a conscious being who is beautiful, brilliant, and incredibly powerful. Now, this naturally sacred being doesn't need to prove itself. Its beaming joy is self-confident, self-evident, and is quite quiet about how amazing and boundless it is. And from this space, there's nobody who needs confidence or fears that someone is lacking confidence. All we see and feel is the shining light that we all are. The small, powerless shadow self, instantly disappears in the essence of this bright light, leaving no sense of separation from this life, and the pendulum stops swinging from feeling superior to being inferior. Perhaps the most vital piece of information that will help us remain in a state of perpetual self-confidence is that it is ridiculously easy and truly effortless to experience it. Everlasting confidence is our natural, effortless essence and is continuously radiating at the core of our being. We don't have to do anything to entice the sun to shine brighter. It is always already here, shining perfectly bright enough. The sun is a perfect example of who we are. It is always radiating its light on the world. It is naturally self-effulgent, perfectly warm to bring about life, and simply cannot be improved upon. This is exactly the way we are. On this planet, I've stated several times, you ever notice that the society, everybody wants to be extraordinary. It's all over the place. That is the search of the ego. To be someone who is special, unique, and incomparable. This is the paradox. The more we try to be exceptional, the more ordinary we look because everyone is after extraordinariness. It is such an ordinary desire because everybody wants, just about everybody wants to be there. And rarely does somebody want to be a nobody. Rarely does somebody want to be a hollow, empty space. Yet, this is really extraordinary because nobody wants it. So when we become ordinary, we actually become extraordinary, Osho. Many are in the search for a higher self-esteem. It is a highly addictive and dangerous game to play, as we are continuously trying to acquire a more improved version of ourselves. And we've all experienced this. None of us are exempt from it. But we're never ultimately satisfied with who we are. The more energy we put into trying to become someone better, the more energy we expend, the more we miss out on the feeling that we are enough and continue to climb up and fall down the ladder of self-esteem. Many of us, we grip tightly onto the beliefs and perceptions about ourselves as a society dictates. The more rigid, complex, and crackable our self-esteem structure becomes, the more we grip, the more it cracks apart. Eventually, when the big wind of life blows through, every idea we were clinging to is shaken off, cracked, or destroyed. It is by putting less energy and effort into becoming someone who is confident that we create more time to spend in relaxation and enjoying bathing in our spiritual core essence. By simply enjoying this truly relaxed, healing space within, we become unshakable and capable of embracing the greatest storm when they do pass through. Ironically, the most solid foundation of confidence of them all is the one which feels connected with the sadness and weakness inside our human selves. We are not avoiding, attached to, or resisting the darkness. yet are simply rooted in the strength we find in our own authenticity. It is through our vulnerability that we find true strength in ourselves, able to remain centered in the most challenging life scenarios. This confidence is the strongest because it is the most flexible, capable of dealing with change and absorbing anything that life throws its way. It's good to know that the opposite of confidence is doubt, fear, hesitation, uncertainty, and cowardice. Each of these experiences is a byproduct of a tight, tense, emotional, fear-based memory that is stored inside our body. The more integrated we become with the tension and the relaxation of the tension, our entire being finds the deepest place of relaxation, and confidence comes pouring through. We can see how essential it is to make time in our lives to slow down from the racing mind and practice relaxing into each experience, whether good or bad. We have a choice to use our breath as a vehicle to take us deeper inside, to touch everything within ourselves, and eventually reach our innermost spiritual core. Play with the exploration, feeling the intimate spiritual connection we already have within ourselves. Very soon, we will find that this simple, sweet inquiry transforms our entire life. Now, there are certain steps that you can choose to take to everlasting self-confidence that some people have used for years. To transforming a lifelong battle with self-esteem into one that is overflowing in a sea of self-trust, gratitude, and self-love. When you find this information, you find it enlightening and effective in changing your experience of this life. Share it with everybody. The thread of breath and emotional merging. Randomly 5 to 10 times a day. Feel into your connection with your breath. Relax deeply into it for at least 3 to 5 minutes. Feel into each inhalation and exhalation, expanding the belly and chest, allowing yourself to reach in and touch the deepest level of tension inside. Open up the reservoirs to let your good and bad feelings come flooding in. See, a lot of us will block those. Let's just block them. We won't even use peripheral vision if we see them fluttering over there. We put them in a little closet. This way you just let it flow. And with each breath, feel into the emotional peak and valley that currently exists in your life. Let yourself be massaged by the breath, bringing up the greatest pain and sadness inside, and let them merge with your deepest, your joy and bliss. Breathe into them both so they merge and dissolve into one energy. Let this mixed pool of energy dissolve back into your spiritual essence. The source of pure consciousness itself, where it came from. You can imagine that you are piercing the memories of your past with one thread of consciousness using your breath. The breath will push the thread, binding the feelings and memories together, melting and melding them as one. And as you feel through the core of these feelings, they will change. You'll naturally begin to relax deeper and discover a state of peace and stillness inside. Imagine you're rooting yourself internally in this space of stillness and deep peace, and practice living from this space as much as possible throughout your day. I've talked about it many times that the breath is our greatest gateway to freedom. The more awareness we can create around our breath, welcoming its life-giving and receiving moments and movements, the more we can relax deeper inside and trust the divine guidance of this life. As this trust reaches into our innermost core, we simply let go of the traumas that run our life. Find true emotional healing inside. It is from simply following and feeling into the breath that we retrain our bodies to relax and can start connecting with the more spiritual aspects of our being. From this space, being able to fully relax into our own body, a genuine confident state automatically takes over. Find what makes you smile. Find it. Embrace it. How often do you think of that? How often do you feel that? Find what it is that puts a smile on your face. First thing in the morning, whatever it is, focus on it and imagine that it is happening to you right now. Let that good feeling come flooding in and show up in your face. Then let it flood all throughout your body. Confident people, through the heart-mind, are not afraid to smile. They are full of real smiles, not those, fake ones. When we start practicing our outer smile, we begin accessing our real inner smile. The part that is truly happy inside you. Then there is no reason to ever fake a smile in this world ever again. You've probably come across somebody, right? Maybe you. Or you fake a smile. When you start practicing your outer smile, you begin accessing your inner smile, your real inner smile, the part that is truly happy inside you. Then there's no reason to ever fake a smile in this world again. So let your true inner smile come out and be displayed on your face this week. Let those happy feelings reach into the parts of your body that really need it. This is a simple technique, and it will instantly help you to feel happy inside, which breeds a solid state of inner peace. So you can access true confidence at any time. How many people do you know that are 100% authentic, truthful, and real with everyone? People who feel insecure and powerless in this life are usually overoccupied with hiding how they truly feel. A truly confident being is unconcerned about the good and bad opinions of others. He, she is practicing authenticity because it feels good to be real. Doesn't it? Doesn't it feel good to be real? Genuinely? It simply feels liberating not to have to hide. And we can stop micromanaging this life to be a particular way. When we have zero fear about what others might think or say, we become naturally authentic, real, relaxed, grounded in our spiritual nature. The more that this authentic expression becomes a habit and our home base, then everything that is false and insecure will eventually fall away. The authentic being is one who has the courage to reveal whatever they cannot talk about. Aren't there things you can't talk about? There's always this movement towards a deeper sharing, even if they feel insecure about something. The vulnerability brings out an even deeper confidence from within. An authentic being knows that it's okay to feel pain, express hard emotions, and understands that stuffing is the greatest cause of suffering. When we take the risk to be real, a lot of people, they get to that point, and then of course there's other people, right? And then they kind of pull back. They don't, okay? They don't risk the fact to be real. So this truth-revealing energy bonds people together, eliminating the need for superficial games, which keep people locked up in their ego. We will find that the sweetest joy surfaces naturally from the most simple expression of our authenticity. How many things in this life where you've been in a situation where you could absolutely authenticate, verify, and confirm? Practice becoming very silent and still. A lot of us have difficulty with that. You see, a lot of people will sit still, but then they go, I got to be, the ego mind comes into guilt. They feel guilty for doing nothing. They actually feel guilty for doing nothing. I'm not saying just quit everything, never do anything. But I think everyone understands what I'm conveying. When we sit very, very, very still, like a solid, silent statue randomly for a few minutes every day, not moving at all, everything in your life will start to become crystal clear. As the busy beings that we are, it may not come easy at first to learn how to meditate and do absolutely nothing. And it isn't for a lot of people. It's not easy. Yet within this stillness and silence, there exists such a tremendous freedom. We instantly find the courage to do whatever we want in this life. And this allows the adult in us to be childlike and playful again. In total silence, we get in touch with the spiritual core of you and discover the naturally confident, charismatic person you truly are inside. By quieting our mind chatter we let go of all efforting, especially trying to be, you see, efforting, especially trying to be confident. We start to sink deeper into our all-expansive, infinite spiritual nature. Here we engage with everyone in this life from a divine perspective, seeing the spiritual essence within them. And thus life begins meeting you on the same level. So you decide for yourself to commit to sit in total silence for at least 5 to 10 minutes a day. Eventually the mind will get rooted and become quieter inside with practice. It's not going to happen the first time. I have people tell me that, they try to focus on the breath, but the problem is that the ego mind is running them, and their fear, right, overtakes them, even though they're trying to focus on the breath. It is sometimes a tug of war, but when you surrender it all as you focus on the breath, then you're home, you're in the now. And the more often that we sit still, the more clear the mind will get, and we will see who and what we truly are, as well as where we're going in this life. From this space, we're more effective in the decision and actions we choose throughout the day. Living our life from this silent space, we will begin feeling more guided, connected, and aligned with the mysterious unfolding of this universe within us. See, many in the rat race on this planet, they believe that getting somewhere, right, getting to the finish, getting to the destination is the key. But in reality, half the fun is the journey, if not more, not the destination. So my invitation here is much bigger than taking on a perpetual self-esteem project that is never fully satisfied with the end result. So I suggest that you realize the truth of who you are. That you see this spiritual being inside you who is all-powerful, deeply eternal loving, and free from all doubt, insecurity, and fear. Because we're all that way, okay, within. I'm not going to say outside, but I will absolutely say within. The point of all these suggestions is that we become the number one priority in our lives. We become the number one priority in our lives. And we discover how easy it is to become a naturally confident being again. Is it a risk? Maybe some people would think it would be a risk, depending on how much the ego mind has over them. You take the risk today to take on this enlightening approach now by opening yourself on an entirely new dimension to new sources of confidence inside you. Life becomes a truly magical experience. And all of us, no exceptions, all of us, even, the ones we watch that aren't so great, at least on the surface. We're like in this, you can kind of picture us all in this incubation chamber called humanity. And it is designed specifically to bring the state of self-realization into our hearts and minds. Now, once we know, okay, every person is a teacher in this mass school, so to speak, guiding us to find our spiritual path and discover what it truly means to be enlightened. Because truly, all of us are Buddhas and Christs. Those are not names of people. Those are definitions of, what do they mean? The enlightened one. We are all enlightened ones. Many of us just don't know it yet. So we're being guided to find our spiritual path. Now, we're all on the same path, whether we realize it or not. To find our spiritual path and discover what it truly means to be enlightened. Every single one of us, every situation, event, circumstance in our lives today is offering the perfect ingredients necessary for us to get rooted, grow, blossom into our greatest potentiality. We're all like baby eggs, each destined to hatch, break free from our ego shell, and enjoy this extremely alive, conscious, and deeply juicy existence. And as always, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, missing for enlightenment to find its way into us. All of our problems, missed opportunities, and challenging life circumstances are the perfect sacred situations deliberately designed to inspire us to build our deepest connection to Source and harness a radical creativity. Where is that coming from? The God within your soul. That's where the true guidance is coming from. Without these sacred situations, we would be missing something that is like fertilizer. These essential stinky nutrients that make one deepen, evolve, and grow. Life is perfect just the way it is. And we are perfect just the way we are, with all of our desires and attainments, joys and sorrows, securities and insecurities. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. Easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. You are as innocent as a newly born child who is here to learn and grow from every new experience of this life. Remember that your soul is on an infinite journey and has never made a mistake along the way. The only mistakes that you'll see are caused by miscellaneous expectations, attachments, assumptions, and judgments from the mind. Everything that has transpired in your life thus far has been absolutely perfect. This moment is exactly what your soul signed up for. Rejoice in knowing everything in this universe is exactly how it's meant to be. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Reverse Aging Health Call. And Saturday, February 3rd, 2024, around 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our Global Guided Meditation Call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you or outside of you.